At 17, Nora had once been the kind of girl who lit up a room. Her long, curly chestnut hair framed a round, expressive face that was usually smiling, surrounded by a group of friends at school, chattering about everything and nothing. She used to laugh freely. She used to love coming home. But things had changed. Fast. Her parents were divorcing. Not in the quiet, mutual kind of way. It was messy. Loud voices at night. Slammed doors, cold shoulders, weekends divided between homes that no longer felt like homes. Her mother cried often. Her father grew impatient, distracted. No one asked Nora how she felt. Not really. School, which had once been a place of comfort, started to feel like quicksand. Assignments piled up like mountains, and her grades slipped faster than she could hide them. Teachers who used to praise her now raised concerned eyebrows. Friends drifted, unsure how to deal with the girl who'd become a storm cloud. She started wearing a cap most days now, pulled low to shade her puffy eyes. And then there was the stealing. It started small. A lip balm from a drugstore. A bracelet from a friend's locker. She couldn't explain why she did it. Maybe for control, maybe for the rush. Maybe just to feel something when everything else felt numb. The black latex pants she now wore every day, tight and dramatic, were something she'd taken too. Her mother had commented on them once, calling them a cry for attention. But Nora didn't care. At least they made her feel seen. Her parents tried everything. Therapy, weekend getaways, harsh punishments, family talks. Nothing worked. Nora seemed to spiral further. Then came the day the school called. She had been caught stealing from the supply closet. Nothing major, just some markers and glue. But the principal was already well acquainted with her file. He suggested escalation. Nora was on the edge of expulsion. That same week, she got into a shouting match with her mother and slammed a chair into the kitchen wall. Her father, who had come to drop off documents, called the police in a fury. Nora was taken to a juvenile court hearing. She didn't expect what came next. Part 2. The judge's decision. The courtroom was dim and cold. Nora sat slouched in a hard wooden chair, arms crossed, the brim of her cap pulled low again. Her latex pants creaked slightly as she shifted, uncomfortable under the judgmental gaze of the courtroom attendees. The police judge, a stern woman with silver hair pulled into a bun, didn't yell. She didn't need to. "Miss Nora Evans," the judge said slowly. "We've tried mediation, counseling, interventions. Still, here you are." Nora didn't respond. "Your parents are at their limit. You are failing in school, engaging in theft, aggression. This court could recommend juvenile detention." Nora's heart started to pound. "But I am willing to try something different. Something symbolic. Something strict, yes, but perhaps impactful." She paused. The courtroom hushed. "You will report to the designated hairdresser this Friday at 4 p.m. You will submit to a full head shave. Clean. No cap, no exceptions. The court believes it may help you understand consequence, visibly and personally." Nora blinked in disbelief. Her mother gasped. Her father looked shocked but said nothing. "What?" Nora finally muttered. The judge nodded. "Yes, it's final. Court ordered. You will be escorted there. If you resist, the juvenile center awaits. Do you understand?" Tears burned at the corners of Nora's eyes, but she nodded. She wasn't sure she had a choice. Friday arrived like a sentence carved in stone. Nora barely slept the night before. She lay curled on her bed, still dressed in her tight black latex pants and a loose hoodie. Her cap rested on the nightstand. She stared at the ceiling, eyes dry but burning. She didn't cry. Not yet. When 3:30 p.m. came, a knock echoed on the door. It was Officer Lenton, a tall woman with cropped hair and kind eyes. "Ready?" she asked softly. Nora didn't respond. She just stood, pulling the hoodie tighter around her and slipping the cap on once more. Her black latex pants squeaked faintly as she walked. The drive to the hairdresser was silent. The car hummed along city streets Nora barely noticed. She stared out the window like someone watching their old life drift away. At 3:58 p.m., they arrived. The hair salon was a clean, modern place. Glass doors, white tile floors, soft pastel decor. Bright and impersonal. Nora hated it instantly. It smelled of shampoo and lavender oil. She had always avoided salons, preferring to let her long curls roam wild and natural. Today, that would end. A woman behind the counter glanced up. "Ah, court appointment?" she asked, far too casually. Officer Lenton nodded. The woman motioned to a sleek black barber chair in the center of the salon. "We're ready." Nora walked stiffly toward it, heart thudding in her chest. Her latex pants made soft noises as she lowered herself into the chair. She clenched her fists in her lap, fighting a wave of nausea. Her eyes flicked to the mirror in front of her, seeing her reflection, her long, thick curls spilling from beneath the cap, her pale face framed by strands of fading rebellion. Then a hand appeared behind her, reaching for her cap. "No," Nora whispered, gripping the brim. The hairdresser, a no-nonsense woman in her 40s with short, dyed red hair, raised an eyebrow. "It has to come off." Officer Lenton moved closer. "You agreed. Or the alternative." Nora closed her eyes. Slowly, trembling, she peeled the cap off her head and placed it on the counter. Her curls fell around her shoulders like a waterfall of soft defiance. They caught the light. They were beautiful. And they were about to be gone. The hairdresser picked up a large, glossy black PVC barber cape from the hook and gave it a sharp flick in the air. The cape made a snapping sound as it unfurled, gleaming under the salon lights. Nora flinched. It was wrapped around her tightly, smooth and shiny and cold against her skin. The woman then unrolled a white neck strip and secured it around Nora's throat with practiced fingers. The cape was fastened over it snugly at the back. The contrast was stark, black and white, just like her feelings. Her hands disappeared beneath the material. She felt imprisoned, trapped in something clinical, industrial. Then came the clippers. The woman held them up with no ceremony. "Let's begin." The hum started low, vibrating through Nora's ears and chest. "No, wait. Please," she whispered, eyes going wide. "Please just... not like this. I don't want..." The woman ignored her plea. She placed a firm hand on the top of Nora's head and tilted it slightly forward. "Busy." The first pass cut straight down the center of Nora's scalp from front to crown, shearing a thick swath of curls to bare skin. The hair fell silently, heavily, landing on the black PVC cape in soft coils. Nora gasped, like her breath had been stolen. Her eyes filled with tears. "Stop! Please stop!" Another pass, and another. The clippers didn't pause. They buzzed across her scalp with merciless efficiency, revealing pale skin beneath. Her dark curls fell in bunches onto her shoulders, the cape, the floor. The sound filled her ears, steady, cold, final. Tears began streaming down her cheeks. She tried to turn her head away, but the stylist was practiced. She gently but firmly held Nora's head steady. "Just let it happen," she said quietly, not cruelly, but with the tone of someone who'd done this 100 times. "Bzzz." The sides came next. The clippers moved in upward strokes, chewing away the last of her hair with clinical precision. Nora's tears dripped down her cheeks and landed on the glossy cape, where they slid down and disappeared. The cape was now covered in thick, curly locks. It looked like someone had poured them from a basket. Beautiful strands of a past life. Some still clung stubbornly to her shoulders. When the top was fully bald, the hairdresser turned off the clippers and picked up a smaller foil shaver. "Court order says clean-shaven," she murmured. The buzzing changed tone, finer and more precise. As she ran the shaver across Nora's bare scalp, the last remnants of stubble disappeared. Nora's head was shiny, smooth, and completely hairless. The skin looked almost too pale, untouched by sun. The moment the shaver was turned off, silence fell. The hairdresser took a soft cloth and wiped the remnants from Nora's scalp, then slowly unfastened the neck strip and cape. The cold air hit Nora's head immediately, and she shivered. Her fingers automatically went up to her scalp. It was alien, so smooth, so empty. She broke into sobs. Raw, heaving, unrestrained sobs. Officer Lenton knelt beside her and placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "It's done," she whispered. "You're okay." But Nora didn't feel okay. She didn't feel like herself. She didn't feel like anyone at all. She stumbled out of the chair, holding her cap tightly in one hand. Her feet dragged beneath her as she walked to the car. No one in the salon said a word. The drive home was quiet again. Nora stared at her reflection in the car window. No curls, no warmth, no softness. She shoved the cap back on, pulling it tight over her new bald head. And then she cried all over again. Monday came too soon. The weekend had been quiet in the house. Too quiet. Her mother tiptoed around her, clearly unsure what to say. Her father didn't show up. Nora stayed in her room, cap on, hoodie up, headphones in, even when she wasn't listening to anything. Her head felt raw, constantly reminding her of the absence. The pillow felt cold against her bare scalp at night. The shower was jarring, water hitting skin where hair used to be.